Welcome to something truly, deeply scary. It's not entirely clear why a person would stuff a goat's teeth into a dead man's mouth, but for the 5th century residents of Åland, an island off the coast of Sweden, the why probably wasn't all that important. When you're the victim of a brutal massacre, having a few extra chompers is the least of your worries. In a study published in Antiquity, scientists from the Kalmar Lands and Vårsunds Museum detailed their gruesome findings from Sandyborg, the site of a mass murder that likely occurred just before the turn of the 6th century. In precise clinical language that reads more like a police report than an archaeological profile, the researchers described the aftermath of an assault that ended with an entire community exterminated and a fortress abandoned. So far, the archaeological team has only excavated 6% of Sandyborg, but they've already discovered the remains of at least 26 different individuals. Perimortal interpersonal trauma has been identified on the skulls of at least 4 adults, the authors write. The skull of one young adolescent displays signs of blunt force perimortem trauma. In other words, they were bashed in the head. Other bodies were found partially charred, with injuries suggesting a swift assault on a mostly defenseless community. No weapons have been found on the site, although it's possible they were simply taken away by the attacking party. When the dig began in 2010, the researchers weren't sure what they would find. They started excavating the site after learning treasure hunters had taken interest in Sandyborg, a tip that something valuable was awaiting discovery. Since its apparent abandonment more than 1500 years ago, the site has been largely untouched, perhaps because of long-standing superstitions surrounding Sandyborg. I do find it most likely that the events was remembered and that it triggered strong taboos connected to the site, possibly brought on through oral history for centuries. The archaeologist Ludwig Pamel-Dufay told The Guardian on April 25th. As they quickly found out, sometimes rumors are true. From an educational perspective, Sandyborg is a valuable resource because it is preserved like a crime scene. The site provides a snapshot of the moment of both the massacre and everyday life that was halted brutally. The archaeologists stumbled upon a case study of human violence and a window into pastoral life in 5th century Sweden. While the motive of the massacre is opaque, it's clear this wasn't your typical village pillage. A substantial amount of valuable goods were abandoned, including live animals that were presumably left to starve in a forsaken borg. With more of Sandyborg excavated, the researchers hope to unearth additional clues about political turmoil that could have precipitated the massacre. As for the goat's teeth in the mouth, archaeologists suspect it's a perversion of a Roman tradition to insert coins in the mouth of deceased warriors to give them a head start in the afterlife. In a historical context, it's really not that strange. The complete degradation of human skulls has a long and glorious past. The study highlights humanity's violent history and our macabre fascination with ancient and contemporary human violence. We would like to think we are very different from the perpetrators of the Sandyborg massacre, but we sure like reading about them. Thank you so much for watching this one, and hit those like buttons and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I'll see you next time for another video. Stay safe if you can.